Hello again, everybody, and welcome to WJTS coverage of high school basketball. Tonight, the Jasper Wildcats are back home to take on the New Albany Bulldogs here at the JHS gym. The Wildcats coming off a nice victory last night over County rival Northeast DuBois, 64-34 up at Northeast DuBois last night. In a ball game that pit John Gable's 300 career victory in his 21st year overall at coaching. John is, of course, 214 and 147 in his 14th season here at Jasper. In that ball game last night, Will Wallace had 14 points, Grant Young with 8, all in the fourth quarter. Cats have now won 5 of the last 6 games. Their last loss last week, a week ago tonight against Evansville Harrison. Meanwhile, New Albany coming in the contest with an 8-7 record. They are coming off a 65-60 loss last night versus Evansville North. They have lost 6 of the last 7 contests. Jason Stamm, who joins me, of course, tonight. Let's go back and take a look, recap the Northeast DuBois game last night, Jay. Nice win over the county rival and a nice, kind of a neat environment last night up on the hilltop.
It was. It was a good crowd. We talked about that last night. Packed house. Anytime you got a county rival like that, that brings out the fans. And, it was a nice victory up there. We knew going in it was going to be a hard-fought game, and for the most part, we executed, took care of the basketball, needed what we needed to do to win the game.
Well, as I said, New Albany coming in a little bit, struggling a little bit this year, and kind of not your typical New Albany ball clubs we normally see over the years past.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to get with New Albany. The only thing you do know is you're going to face some good athletes. They've usually always got 2 or 3 guys that can get up and down the floor and play the game.
Well, the tip-off is controlled by the Bulldogs, who will go over their starting lineups. Both teams starting lineups here in just a second. Chase Loesch, Jordan Treat, Jeremy Rose, Justin Carter, and Tommy Devine on the court for Coach Shannon's ball club, who was honored by the Wildcats Jasper High School Athletic Department for his being in his 39th overall season as a head coach, and as I said, 25th year at New Albany. The Bulldogs patiently working their offense on the floor right now. Jasper's junior varsity squad won a hard-fought 36-35 game prior to this one tonight. Here's a steal by the Wildcats. Down low, up and in. The first score of the ball game by number 15, Carter Mundy. So the Wildcats draw first blood, 2-0. Minute into this contest on a turnover. Carter works it down low, and another steal by the Wildcats. And out of bounds as number 51 for the Wildcats, Will Wallace, could not chase the ball down and before it went out on the baseline. Cats with their normal starting lineup now of Griff Heil, Will Wallace, Charlie Cabrick, Grant Young, and Carter Mundy on the floor.
Yeah, we forced them into a turnover there and then didn't capitalize on it. We turned the ball right back over to them. We got to do a better job of that.
So New Albany with the basketball, trailing 2-0. Carter throws up a long 3. It's in and out, no good. Rebound Heil for the Wildcats. Up the floor is Carter Mundy. Carter on the left wing.
Griff's got a little guy inside on him tonight that can match up with him physically.
Down low to Wallace, up and in. Will Wallace picks up his first bucket of the night. It's 4-0 Jasper. And the Wildcats, as I said, jump out to a 4-0 lead. As Treat, then to Carter. Down low to Loesch. Loesch inside the lane, loses the handle, coming up with the steal of the Wildcats. As Wallace pulls it away, and then down the floor come the Wildcats. Down low to Heil. Griffin works it inside, kicks it out. Back inside to Heil. Here's Mundy. Short jumper, good. Excuse me, was that?
That was Cabrick.
No, I'm sorry, Charlie Cabrick with the bucket. I'm going to have to be honest with you, Jason. I've for the last few years, I've been helping you and Craig out and filling in for these ball games, but this is the first time I've ever done an actual game here on 18 JTS for the JHS gym. Of course, many years down on the scorer's bench for the public address, but I'm having a hard time kind of picking up the numbers on the other side, so bear with me at this point. It's 6-0 our score as we have a timeout called with 5:28 to play. So the Wildcats off to a nice start, Jason.
Yeah, they are. Playing good defense so far. New Albany's not taking care of the basketball. They've got 3 turnovers already. And that, that's kind of the way New Albany is sometimes. You play good defense against them, they don't like it. And they get out of sync and out of rhythm, and you can force them into a lot of turnovers.
Carter kicks it out to Devine. Now circling on over in the backcourt is Jeremy Rose. Ball tipped by Grant Young out of bounds. It'll belong to the Bulldogs. Jordan Treat with it in the backcourt. Carter now on the left-hand side wing. Here's a 3 on the way up and no good. And nice save that is by Charlie Cabrick, and the Wildcats have it. Here is Young, kicks it over to Mundy. He'll fire a 3, got it. Carter Mundy has his second bucket. This one a 3. He's got 5 points. It's 9-0 Jasper. So the Wildcats storming here from the get-go. Here's a drive to the hole up and in by Jordan Treat. And the Bulldogs have their first bucket of the night.
That was a nice hesitation move. He come off the screen up high and hesitated a little bit and kicked it in gear and got to the basket. We got to do a better job of stopping that.
Wildcats now working it down low to Heil. Mundy now. Inside to Wallace, up and in. So Will Wallace has his second bucket. He's got 4. It's 11-2 Jasper. Couple substitutions coming in for the Cats right now. It looks like Andrew Noblet getting ready to come in along with Braden Giesler. Here's a 3, no good. Rebound Jasper. Cats with the basketball. Leading it 11-2. Near steal, tapped away, retrieved by the Wildcats. Mundy in the backcourt. Down low to Heil. Griffin works it inside. Looks it and kicks it back out. Here's a drive down the lane. Puts a shot up. No good. Rebound to Albany's number 3, Tommy Devine. Bulldogs on the attack. They'll bring it down the floor. Rose will drive. Tries to deal it off to Chase Loesch, who loses the handle, and the Jasper Wildcats now with the basketball after the steal. And a whistle and a foul down low is going to be called on New Albany. Looks like number 11, Jordan Treat, will be nailed on the personal. First foul of the ball game. In the lineup for the Wildcats is Andrew Noblet, along with Braden Giesler, number 35. Ball swatted away, retrieved by the Wildcats, number 35, Giesler. Young works it in the back court, Noblet that is, I should say, number 31. Here is Andrew, drives, down to the baseline. Cats looking patiently here on this possession here, Jason.
Yeah, they are. They're doing a pretty decent job with their offense. They're moving.
And there's a shot up, no good. Rebound to Albany's number 25, Chase Loesch.
I think we took one extra pass there. I would have liked to see Giesler go up with that shot. I mean, he was unselfish and tried to get it to Wallace, but.
Carter down low, puts a short jumper up and in, kind of a little teardrop. And he's got his first bucket of the night. 11-4 Wildcats.
We got lucky there.
Real
lucky.
1:47 to go here in the first quarter. Shot up and no good. Rebound to Albany. Devine Now a three on the way by number 11, Jordan Treat is no good. Jasper with the rebound and the basketball. Here's a short jumper from the baseline, up and in.
Giesler's got a nice shooting touch. He doesn't try to force shots.
Was that Giesler with that basket?
Yeah.
Okay, I apologize. If I'm having a hard time picking up the uniform numbers, I got to admit, from that far out. Here's a jumper, no good. Rebound, Wildcats. Here's a three from the corner, up and in by Grant Young. His first bucket of the night. Timeout New Albany, a full timeout with 50 seconds to go in the first quarter. Jasper storms out to a 16-4 lead. Back after this here on 18 WJTS. Back at the JHS gym where the Wildcats of Jasper are lead 16-4 with 50 seconds after a timeout called by Coach Shannon of New Albany. .48 seconds to go as the Bulldogs will have the basketball here in the closing seconds of the first quarter. Treat in the backcourt. Double team. 24 seconds on the clock. Here's a ball lost away, and then Wildcats with the steal. Going down the floor is Grant Young. He tries to find Giesler, I believe, down low. Or actually, Giesler, but he couldn't handle the pass, and the ball is out of bounds. It'll belong to the Wildcats after it was batted by the Bulldogs. Carter Mundy comes back in. Mundy comes in. He will replace Grant Young, who has 3 points in this contest. 15 seconds in the quarter. Heil holds it out in the backcourt. Ball's batted away. Wildcats come up with it, and a foul is going to be called on New Albany's Chase Loesch, his first, team second. Cats will inbound it at the midcourt stripe with 8 seconds to go. Here's Heil. Looking for a man, one dribble, 3 seconds. Ball is knocked away. Here's a three on the way. It is no good, off the mark, and that brings us to the end of the first quarter of play with the score Jasper 16, New Albany 4. Back after this here on 18 WJTS. Gymnasium, Carey Schneider along with Jason Stamm and Jeremy Marcos on the camera this evening, of course. Wildcats lead at 16-4, Jason, after the first quarter.
Yeah, Jasper did a pretty good job of running their offense and taking care of the basketball. I only had them for one turnover and forced New Albany into 4. New Albany just doesn't look like they're ready to play, in my opinion. They're just kind of out there going through the motions, and it's going to be a long night for them if they keep playing like that.
Well, like I said, they're right now at 8-7, have lost 6 of the last 7 games at this point, and there's Griffin Heil with his first bucket of the night. 18-4 in favor of the Wildcats.
Yeah, I don't know if they've had a weaker schedule in the first half, if they lost a player or something, but there's must be quite a bit of difference between their first half and the second half so far.
Absolutely. 18-4 as the Wildcats lead it, and New Albany with the basketball. Chris Lampkins gets ready to check in for the Bulldogs. There's a three on the way, up and in by number 3, Tommy Devine. So Devine with his first bucket.
Looks like they settle for 3-point shots quite a bit. If they're not hitting them, I assume it's a long night for them.
18-7 is our score early in the second quarter. Heil down low. He'll muscle a shot up, no good, off the glass. Ball is batted. Coming up with it is number 23, Kenny Watson for the Bulldogs. Here's a three on the other end again by number 3, Tommy Devine. So number 3 with a pair of threes here in the second quarter. And suddenly New Albany's within 8 at 18-10. Again, the Cats pounding it down low to Heil, who's been working on number 25, Chase Loesch, for them all night. And looks like Loesch is going to pick up a personal. That'll be his second. As number 22 for the Bulldogs, Chris Lampkins comes into the contest for the first time. Grant Young back in the contest as well as he'll replace Noblet. 18-10 is our score. Jasper with the basketball. They'll inbound to pass underneath the court. Here's a three from the top of the key by number 25, Charlie Kabrick. Giesler again. My apologies. That's the second time I've mistaken him. Sorry, Braden. He's got our second bucket of the night. He's got 5 with that three. It's 21-10. Here's a shot way off, no good from three-point land. It's out of bounds. It'll belong to the Wildcats. Will Wallace will check back in for John Gable's ball club, and he'll replace Braden Giesler. So next time I see somebody with close to a 25 or a 35 shoot, I'll know it's this time. I'll know it's Charlie.
Yeah. Those light yellow numbers are hard to see on the.
I usually don't try to make too many excuses, but I tell you what, I'm having a difficult time picking up our numbers on the far end of the court. I'll have a much better vantage point when the second half when Jasper has the floor on this end. But there's a ball is going to be turned over to the Bulldogs, so another turnover against the Cats, which have kind of been a rarity tonight so far.
Yeah, I've only got us for 2 so far, so that's a good job so far, but we got to continue that.
5.5 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Here's a long three up and in by number 13 for the Bulldogs. And that is Ryan Schrank, who just checked in the contest. Schrank with his first bucket. He's got 3. And it's 21-13. New Albany once again within 8. Heil works it again inside, and he gets the roll. So Griffin Heil with his second point, he's got 4. Or second bucket, he's got 4. Back up to a 10-point difference, 23-13.
New Albany's young, plays a lot of young guys. They've got 2 sophomores on the floor again.
Here's a steal. Shot up and in and good, and a foul. So with the basket for the Wildcats is Grant Young, and he'll draw the personal. So he'll go to the line with the old-fashioned three-point play as the foul is called on Jordan Treat, his second. And we got another timeout called by the Bulldogs with 4:43 to go in the second quarter of play. The score: Jasper 25, New Albany 13. We'll be back after this here on 18 WJTS. As we return to the Jasper High School Gymnasium here on 18 WJTS after that timeout, Wildcats are now up by 12, 25-13 after the basket by Grant Young, who was fouled on the play, and now he'll go to the line with a chance to complete a three-point play. He's got 5, looking for his 6th point of the contest. First free throw of the night attempted by the Wildcats at this point. This one is off the mark, no good, and is out of bounds. It belongs to New Albany.
I'm not sure what happened there. It didn't look like that hit anything.
It didn't. It was literally an air ball off the side.
And that's
it was wide right.
very odd for Grant to do that.
25-13, New Albany with the basketball. They trail by 12. 4.5 minutes to go in the half. They, like the Wildcats, have been working a little bit patiently as a foul is going to be called on Grant Young, who got him with the body. That's the first foul in the contest against the Wildcats.
Yeah, the officials so far have pretty well let them play. I mean, they haven't been calling tic-tac fouls.
And we're not even half an hour into this contest, and we're just 4 minutes before halftime as a result.
Yeah, the JV game was like that too. Mm-hmm. I got here, normally when I would have got here, it would have been about first, second quarter, and I got here and the third quarter was almost over. So in
that, here's a steal by Jasper and losing it out of bounds. Actually, they're going to say it was off. Looks like it was actually off Chris Lampkins. So Jasper will have the possession of the basketball as Giesler checks back into the contest. In that JV game, Jasper was down by as much as 20-9 and ended up taking a 23-22 lead and held on for the victory. Actually won it on a kind of last-second shot. New Albany had a chance to win it at the end, but they lost the basketball, lost handle of the basketball, and Jasper preserved the win. 36-35 by victory by Caleb Begley's ball club. Here in the varsity contest, it's 25-13 with 3:45 to go in the half. And another reason why this game seems to be moving along like quickly is both teams are not really kind of taking their sweet time fight.
Yeah, they're making multiple passes on the offensive end and just kind of running their offense, but they don't really look like they're looking to score.
Exactly. Giesler to Mundy. Down low to Wallace, and he's going to get hammered down low, and he'll go to the line to shoot too. So Will Wallace with a pair of free throws coming. He's got 4 points. Foul is going to be called on Chris Lampkins, his first. 15 foul by the Bulldogs. First free throw by Wallace is good. He's got 5. Pick up the substitution, did you?
Noblet went in for Mundy
Noblet,
on Jasper.
okay, Andrew Noblet back in for Mundy. Second free throw is up and in by Will Wallace. He's got 6. 27-13, Jasper with the lead. Chase Loesch looks like he's getting ready to come back in for New Albany. Under 3 minutes to go in the first half. Working around is the Bulldogs. Tight defense, though, by the Wildcats, too. Here's a short jumper up and in by number 5 for the Bulldogs, Jeremy Rose, who picks up his first bucket of the night. 27-15 with 2.5 to play.
You don't normally see that out of a New Albany team, make that many passes, and they like to get up and down the floor.
Here's a long three, is no good by the Wildcats. Rebound, scramble, the Cats come up with it. Here's Noblet for 3. That's off the mark, no good. New Albany comes up with the rebound. Nearing the 2-minute mark. 27-15 Jasper. Ooh, a little contact there, but no foul. As Grant Young collided with him. Flips it out to Watson. Watson now out to Shrink. Like I said, Jason, New Albany's no hurry to shoot the basketball despite being down by 12.
They run a lot of one-on-one stuff. You know, they let the guy with the ball handler try to create something.
And you're right. I mean, it's just not where we're used to seeing out in New Albany all these years. You and I've seen many, and you played in many a Jasper New Albany basketball game, and they were always the team to just push it right up the floor. Running guns, so they say. Here's a steal by the Wildcats. Basket up and in by Charlie Cabrick. So Cabrick picks up his second bucket, 29-15 with a minute to go in the half. 14-point lead for the Wildcats. At halftime, they will be honoring there's a long three up and in by number 4 for New Albany, Justin Carter, his 5th point, first three-pointer. At halftime, they're going to honor the 1972-73 Jasper basketball team, which went all the way to the Sweet 16 under Coach Ed Schulteis 50 years ago this year. They will be recognized at halftime of tonight's game. A lot of former players on hand, like Mike Liegers and Stan Giesler, just to name a few. And assistant coach Rex May, still on with us these days. Sharp as attack at 90-plus years old, Jason.
Yeah, Coach May's been around a long time.
He
was a JV coach. He traveled.
Yeah, and they call the traveling.
Coach May was my JV coach when I played. But yeah, he's been around and great guy. You know, mentor of mine. I mean, I learned a lot from him growing up and watching him.
They're actually sitting right below us here. Let's see, Jeff Bobble in the crowd or in the group there. Dr. Tom Berger and Terry Tucker. As I said, Stan Giesler on hand. Big Mike Liegers, Steve Opel. So they will be recognized at halftime of tonight's game, which is 6.9 seconds to go till the half. 29-18, that is. Here's a whistle, and a foul is going to be called by the Wildcats with 2 seconds to go. Foul is going to go on number 35, Braden Giesler, his first. Third team foul for the Cats.
We've got another, we've got 4 fouls to commit here. As soon as they get the ball inbounds, I'd foul them. Not while they're shooting, but as soon as they touch it.
And there was as you said.
That's not what I said. I didn't say when they were shooting. I said before they're shooting, I would foul.
Justin Carter got a hold of the basketball and was able to put the shot up, but he was fouled in the act of shooting by number 25, Charlie Gabrick. And for Gabrick, that'll be his second, and the first free throw is up and in by Justin Carter. Carter has got 6 points in the ball game. 29-19. Next one is up, and it's in as well. 1/2 of a second left, and that will bring us to the end of the first half of play with the score Jasper 29, New Albany 20. So kind of a slow-paced ball game, Jason, or actually with quite a bit of points considering with the pace of this game.
Yeah, not too bad. There's been, I've got New Albany for 7 turnovers, Jasper for 3, so there's not a lot of turnovers on Jasper's part anyways. But to build off what you're saying, 29-20, that's a decent amount of points for what seemed like a
4 3-pointers by the Bulldogs in that second quarter alone, though.
Yeah, but for the amount of the way the game was played there in the first half, it just didn't seem like it was. It felt like it was moving at a snail's pace. Both teams were very deliberate on offense, but Jasper capitalized inside quite a bit with Heil in there and Wallace. They don't have anybody to answer trying to guard those guys inside.
Okay, I tell you what. Another thing is, this, like I said, it's just Cats have been capitalizing on turnovers and whatnot, and just doing a good job themselves pushing up the floor. Again, just kind of something that we don't really see a whole lot out of New Albany like we have in the past. So.
Yeah, that's we haven't seen New Albany get out in transition and be able to do anything with the transition. And that's a credit to Jasper, a little bit, but they haven't even tried it. In years past, New Albany would always want to run and gun and go and get up and down the floor. And this just seems like this team, to me, looks like it's looking for an identity of what they want to be and how they want to be this year, the New Albany team.
And they're awful young anyway, too. So.
Yeah, they are. They've got 5 sophomores on their roster, and one of them starts. The number 11, the Treat kid's a sophomore. And then a couple of the other ones have played some minutes. So, yeah, they're young, and I'm sure, Coach Shannon, he's trying to feel them out and figure out what's going on with them too.
Well, New Albany actually has outscored the Wildcats at 16-3 in that second quarter, as we said, in the heads of 4 3-pointers. They are led in scoring by Justin Carter with 7 points, 3 points for Ryland Schrenk off the bench, 2 points for Jeremy Rose and Jordan Treat. Jasper, rather balanced scoring attack tonight with Braden Giesler with 5, Carter Mundy with 5 points for Grant Young, 4 points for Charlie Cabrick and Griffin Heil, and Will Wallace leading the way with 6 points on a pair of buckets and a pair of free throws. So nice balanced scoring for the Cats for the first half of this contest. We are at halftime here at the JHS Gym with the Wildcats leading at 29-20. We'll be back with the second half right after this here on 18 WJTS. Back at the JHS Gym as we are about set to bring you the second half of play here in tonight's basketball game between the New Albany Bulldogs and the Jasper Wildcats. Wildcats lead it by 9, 29-20. We mentioned them during the first half of the ball game, and I'll mention it again at halftime of tonight's game. The Jasper High School Athletic Department recognized the 1972-73 Jasper High School basketball team under Coach Ed Schulteis, who won the third of 5 straight sectionals under the Silver Fox during a stretch in the 1970s from 71 through 75. In 1973, not only won the sectional, but won their second straight regional championship and their second straight Sweet 16 appearance. And as among those who returned for tonight's recognition was assistant coach Rex May. Of course, the Wildcats coached by Ed Schulteis, who passed away back in 2016, but Rex still on hand tonight, looking sharp as ever. Also, speaking of the Schulteis family, Ed's son, Rick Schulteis, who was a junior that year, was a statistician and manager. He was on hand tonight, as well as reserves Jeff Bobble, Steve Opel, and 4 of the 5 starters, including Terry Tucker, Mike Leegers, Stan Giesler, and Tom Berger. So that team was recognized here this evening, and of course, it was great seeing them out there, Jason, representing the good history of Jasper basketball.
Yeah, it is. Anytime you can honor guys that have had accomplishments that those guys had
50 years ago.
50 years ago, yeah, it makes me feel old because I was 6 when they played. But it is. It's an honor to be able to recognize those guys and to let some of these people that are at these games have no idea of the history of Jasper basketball, and they didn't know that what success we had years ago like that. So
especially a great run of 5 in a row in the 70s. I could still have some vague memories of that myself.
Yeah, and that's Craig and I were talking a little bit about that last night, and I was talking to Jason Albrand before the Du Bois game last night, and we were talking about the atmosphere at Du Bois, how that was like the sectionals were, when the small gyms, they were packed, and that's what high school basketball was all about.
What do you look for the Wildcats here in the second half?
Well, I would hope that they would continue playing, the way that they played there in the first half, take care of the basketball. 3 turnovers in the first half was a good half for them. So, I hope that they can continue to do that, take care of the basketball, and maybe shoot the ball a little better from the outside, but keep getting it inside.
Both teams return to the floor as we're underway in the second half with their original starting lineup. So 3 is off and no good. Chase Loesch, Jordan Treat, Jeremy Rose, Jossie Carter, and Tommy Devine for New Albany, while the Wildcats have Heil, Wallace, Cabrick, Young, and Moondy, their original starting lineup for John Gables Ball Club. They have the basketball after the missed shot on the other end. Down low is Wallace, and he'll be called for traveling.
Yeah.
So Wildcats turn it over in their first possession here in the second half.
And that's what we talked about. You got to take care of the basketball. You've got New Albany down. You got to keep them down. You can't let them. If they would have hit that 3, they'd have had to cut to 6. So you get them down. You got to keep them there.
So the New Albany Bulldogs, trailing by 9, have the basketball. Their second possession as Treat works it out in the backcourt. Here's a 3 on the way by number 3 once again, and that is Tommy Devine with his third 3-point basket of the night. He's got 9, and it's 26-23, a 6-point lead, 29-23 suddenly. Here's a 3 on the way by Charlie Cabrick, way off the mark. In fact, overshoots the basketball, but coming up with it down low, up and in, up and no good. Scramble for the ball, and New Albany comes up with it. Carter brings it down and up at the shot, no good on the other end, and Wallace comes up with the rebound.
That's the kind of ball that we're used to seeing when we play New Albany, though, is getting up and down the floor like that.
Heil takes the pass down low, but he's going to be pushed. It looks like maybe number 25, Loesch, will be nailed on the personal, and if it is, it's his third, and it indeed is that. First foul of the second half for the Bulldogs. Jim Shannon will have to look down his bench. But no moves yet by the New Albany mentor. Wallace, a 3 on the way, and this one is short by number 21, Grant Young, and the Bulldogs come up with it.
Wow, we talked about shooting the ball better from the outside.
Here's a steal up and in by Carter Munday. And he's got 7.
And then commits a foul. But, we were talking about we've got to shoot the ball better from the outside, and we've shot 2 3-pointers, and I don't think we've drawn iron on any of them this half. So we got to do a better job of that.
31-23 is our score. 8-point lead for the Cats. 6 minutes to go in the third quarter of play here on 18 WJTS. Carey Schneider, Jason Stamm, Jeremy Marcos bringing the action to you here this afternoon on Sunday afternoon. Carter over to Devine. Now with it is Rose. And here's a 3 on the other way. No good. Rebound Loesch, works against Heil, puts a shot up, no good. The foul will be called on Griff Heil, his first. So Heil commits the personal. It looks like, yes, that is his first. Second by the team, by the Wildcats here in this half. Loesch looking for his first bucket of the nine, first points of the night with 2 free throws coming, and he'll nail the first. Only the third free throw attempt by New Albany in this game. Jasper just 2 in the first half.
Yeah, neither team got the bonus in the first half. So
the second one is up and in. Loesch with 2 points, 31-25. Young works it out in the backcourt. Hands it off to Mundy. Wallace down low to Heil, and another foul is going to be called on Loesch, and that'll be his fourth. Yeah, kind of surprised he didn't go to the bench after he picked up that third so quickly in this half.
Yeah, but, this is one of these games so far here in the second half. In the first half, the officials let them play, and in the second half, it seems, yeah, I mean, it's already – there's 4 fouls between both teams, and we're not even 3 minutes into the third quarter. That'll
bring in Lampkins for the Bulldogs. Like you said, 2 fouls quickly apiece by both teams here. And there's a 3 on the way, and up and in by Carter Mundy. So Mundy has his 10th point already, 5 points this quarter. In fact, he's got all 5 points for the Wildcats here in the third. 34-25, Jasper with the 9-point lead. Lampkins up and in, and a foul is going to be called on Heil, and that'll be his second. So Lampkins picks up his first bucket, and he'll go to the line to shoot a free throw. New Albany as a team, 4 for 4 from the line tonight. Lampkin with his first free throw toss of the night, and it is off the mark, no good. And it remains 34-27. Jasper with the 7-point lead as Giesler and Knoblich get set to check in for John Gable's ball club. Here's Charlie Kabrick. Charlie drives inside the lane, puts a shot up, could not get the roll. Ball is batted around, and here is a 3 on the way up and off the mark, no good by Grant Young. And the Wildcats come up with the basketball again. Third chance for the Cats.
Yeah, Jasper's doing a good job on the offensive boards. We just got to capitalize on it.
So a pair of offensive rebounds for the Cats results in a third chance to get a bucket on this possession. Up and in by Wallace, and a foul. So Will Wallace picks up the bucket. He will pick up his 8th point of the contest, and he will go to the line with the free throw coming. As number 4 for New Albany, Justin Carter picks up the foul, and that will be his first. As we said, Andrew Knoblich and Braden Giesler come into the contest for Jasper. Actually, if one of the two, it looks like Giesler will be coming in for Wallace if he could hit this free throw. He does not. Heil comes up with the rebound and up and in. So Griffin Heil has his 6th point on 3 field goals. 38-27. Jasper suddenly up by 11.
Yeah, Jasper did a good job of weathering New Albany's storm there a little bit. And that's what you got to do in a game like this. It's a game of runs, and New Albany come out here in the third quarter playing a little bit better, a little bit harder. Jasper did a good job of withstanding that.
Here's a shot from inside the free throw circle, no good. Heil comes up with the rebound. The Wildcats on the attack. Here they come. Here's a layup, no good by Carter Mundy. 38-27, Jasper leads it, but New Albany with the basketball. And a traveling is going to be called on the Bulldogs as Jordan Treat commits the turnover. And now Braden Giesler will come in for Will Wallace. Wallace with 8 points will take a seat. $11 points for the Cats here in this quarter. 7 for New Albany. Almost this. So, and a foul is going to be called.
We've got a big size advantage inside now with Heil. Kenny Watkins is guarding him, and he's listed at 6 foot. So
yeah, I was going to say, I was trying to pick up that was Jordan Treat. This was nailed with the last personal. He's got 3 and out. So New Albany with Loesch with 4, Treat with 3. With 3 minutes to go in the third quarter of play. 38-27 is the score. Down low to Heil, up and in. Griffin Heil's got 8. 2 buckets here in the third quarter. 40-27, Jasper with their biggest lead of the game now at 13. New Albany with the basketball. Here is number 3 driving down the lane. That is, of course, number 3, Tommy Devine. He will lose the handle. The ball got knocked away, and looks like it's going to belong to New Albany. Charlie Cabrick coming back in the contest. Carter Mundy will get a rest. Wildcats looking for their second straight victory over the Bulldogs as they defeated them last year 60-50.
Yeah, that was a big win last year, beating New Albany at New Albany. It had been a long time. I don't remember what it was.
It was 6. Yeah, it was like the first time since like I'm gonna say maybe the 80s.
Yeah,
I seem to recall.
It had been a long time since we had beat them up there. Now, granted, there was a couple stretches there when Romeo was there.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and they had a lot of other players. Even in our Michael Lewis years, we could never pull one off down there. Can't remember who their star stud was. Of course, we had Lewis's back in '96. Played him down there, and Lewis scored about 47, but we still could never pull out the victory.
Yeah.
So to that effect, I'm kind of maybe exaggerating a little bit on that total, but it was a big night, of course, for the now head coach of the Ball State Cardinals. I believe picked up a victory today. Last I saw, they were winning.
Yeah, he's got them playing really well.
42-27 is our score with nearing the 2-minute mark here in the third. Jasper with the basketball. Cats again taking their sweet time right now. I'm not hurting the basket there, Jason.
No, they don't need to.
Yeah?
They need to run our offense and look to get it inside with Heil.
Cabrick loses the hand, or actually Nobly, I should say, had the ball stripped away from him, but he was able to retain possession of the basketball. The Cats got it. Here is Giesler down low, kicks it out. Young, 3, no good. Out of bounds off of New Albany, and the Cats will maintain possession. 1:24 to play here in the third quarter. Justin Carter comes back in for the Bulldogs. Carter had 7 points in the first half, has been held scoreless here in the third. 13-point lead for the Cats, 40-27. Young will drive it, deals it out to, was that Charlie? Charlie Cabrick with the basket.
Yep.
3-point basket by number 25, Charlie Cabrick. He's got 7. Cats maintaining a nice balanced scoring tonight. Here's a 3 on the way from the wing, up and in by Jordan Treat. He's got 5, 43-30, a 13-point lead. 13-point lead for the Cats. Heil up and in. Down low to Griffin Heil. He's got 10. 6 here in the third quarter. Back in the contest coming in will be Carter Mundy. Or will it? Waiting for Mundy, and looks like Wallace getting ready to come back in, but a foul, by the way, was called on Giesler, his second, and that will send number 13 for the Bulldogs, Ryland Schrank, to the line and he'll hit the first. He's got 4 points. Heil and Charlie Cabrick will come in for a rest. With 33 seconds to go here in the third quarter, next one is up and in by Schrank. And he's got 5, 45-32, Jasper on top. Cats led by as much as 16 in this contest. Up and in by Wallace as the Cats pound it down low, Jason.
Yeah, Grant Young did a good job of beating the pressure with the dribble and was able to
Three up and in. That was trying to get his number 13 for the Bulldogs, Ryland Strake. He's got 8 points. 3 seconds. Shot put up and no good. And that'll bring us to the end of the third quarter of play with the score Jasper 47 to Albany 35. Back with the fourth and final period of play after this here on 18 WJTS. 47-35, Jason, as we head into the fourth quarter of play. Pretty even balanced scoring tonight, Jason, with Griff Heil and Will Wallace, as well as Carter Mundy with 10 points apiece as we head already into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, they've done a good job of distributing the ball, finding the guys that's open, and we're able to score with Heil and Wallace. They've got size advantage inside, so I can see why they're scoring the way they have, especially when Loesch went out with foul trouble.
So the Wildcats with possession to start the fourth quarter here. And also not far behind them was Charlie Cabrick with 7 and 5 points apiece for Grant Young and as well as Braden Giesler off the bench. So the Wildcats with a 12-point lead, 47-35. They have the basketball. Cats looking to pick up their 10th victory of the year.
Yeah, and if we just take care of the basketball and shoot free throws here in the fourth quarter, we should be able to do that.
Here's a three-point shot is no good. Rebound to Albany. As Kenny Watson comes up with it, and down the floor are the Bulldogs. Treat, he'll fire a three. He's short. Long rebound comes off to the Wildcats. Up and in is start up, no good. I should say looked like was Cabrick. Giesler, excuse me. I'll get it right one of these nights. Here's a three on the way, no good by Jeremy Rose. Three is up and in, this time by Jordan Treat.
Yeah, and that's what we got to be careful with. We don't want to get into this sloppily played game, and I think that's what Coach Gable calls this timeout.
Exactly. Coach Gable's thinking the same thing, and he's going to call a 30-second timeout right here to calm his troops, Jason, as we leave it right here. So the Wildcats letting the Bulldogs back in it just a little bit. It's now within 10 at 47-38. Wildcats looking to pick up their 10th victory of the year as they have won 5 of the last 6 games.
Yeah, and you know what? To me, the key to that is I feel like our defense intensity has really picked up in those games, and we've really gotten after it. Obviously we held a couple of those games. We held the opponent into the 20s in scoring. So that was a key to that is we're really playing good, hard-nosed defense right now, and that's what's helping us out.
So both teams back on the floor with 6:54 to play in this contest. 47-38, Jasper on top. Ball knocked away, near still by the Bulldogs. Here's Mundy driving. Deals it out to Noblet. 3 on the way is no good by Noblet. And the Cats come up with the offensive rebound.
We've done a good job on the rebounds tonight. Either we've done a really good job or New Albany just doesn't block out on the offensive end. I think it's kind of a combination of both. They don't look like they're real disciplined on trying to get guys blocked out.
Back on the other side of the floor is Mundy with the basketball now. Noblet looking for Giesler down low. Ball was knocked away, but he was able to maintain possession. And a whistle and a foul is called inside against the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I mean, to me that's not a foul. They're both jostling for position. And, again, that's one of those. I guarantee you they did that exact same thing in the first half, and the officials didn't call it. Now here in the second half they are.
Kenny Watson is going to be called for the personal, his first of the game. And there's an errant pass stolen by the Bulldogs. There goes Jordan Treat down to the baseline and loses the handle, and basketball will be maintained, possession I should say, to the Bulldogs. Charlie Cabrick back into the contest. He will replace Andrew Noblet. Noblet scoreless this evening. Boy, he had a thunderous dunk last night against Northeast DuBois, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Nice little lob alley-oop pass.
Yeah, Young got a nice pass to him, and he was able to throw it down.
There's a shot up and no good. Rebound comes to the Bulldogs. Baseline jumper is no good. And the Wildcats maintain possession. I watched the replay of the DuBois game this morning here on WJTS, and I had to run it back to make sure I wasn't seeing things, as I saw Coach Gable with an amazing show of emotion after that dunk, throwing a fist.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of that out of him.
No, indeed not. That fired me up. I had to keep running it back a couple times. So anyway, but it was a beautiful play. 47-38 is our score in this ball game. Jasper looking to be on their way here if they can maintain this lead. There's Wallace to Young. Young will put the shot up and in. Grant Young with second effort. He's got his 7th point of the night. First bucket for the Cats here in the fourth. 3 minutes into the quarter. Long three is up and in by number 5, Jeremy Rose. For Rose, he's got his 5th point on his first 3-point basket of the night. 49-48, suddenly it's within 8 again. Cabrick working on the right wing. Ball is going to be knocked out of bounds by New Albany as Carter Mundi had possession of it and it was knocked away.
Number 4, that Jocelyn Carter for New Albany, has done a pretty good job when he's guarding Mundi. He's got some height on him. He's got a lot of length on him. And he's made it real tough for Carter to be able to get a shot off.
There's a bump down low, nothing called though. Here's a shot up and in by Wallace, and this time it's called as a free throw, as Wallace will go to the line, count it, and put him at the line.
A lot of Mundi's points that he's got a couple of them in transition, and he's got a couple of them on shooting when they switch on him.
He's got 10 on the night, but nothing here in the fourth quarter so far. But Will Wallace going to pick up his 13th point of the game as he nails that free throw. He's one for 2 from the line tonight. Cats back up by 11, 52-41. A whistle and a foul down low against the Wildcats.
I mean, there was nobody around him.
I know. Did that go on Charlie? Yes, it was.
I mean, that's crazy.
That's his 3rd.
There wasn't even anybody around the ball handler.
Almost 4 minutes to go in this ball game. It's only the 6th foul against the Wildcats, who I think only had like 2 or 3 at the most in the first half.
Yeah.
New Albany's just now in the bonus. Griffin Howell comes in for a rest. Ball is knocked away and is out of bounds, and they will say it will be New Albany basketball. Actually, they're going to give it to the Wildcats. Thought he was pointing in the New Albany direction, but
yeah, I don't know. I couldn't see nothing there as to what happened, but
either way, the Cats had the basketball. Quickly down the floor, up and in transition is Carter Mundi for his 12th point of the night. 54-41. Jasper back up by 13. 4 minutes to go. Here's a reverse layup that goes up and in by number 11, Jordan Treat. Wow.
I've not seen too many shots like that.
I didn't even think he was no for sure that was going to go in, and he picks up, looks like his 10th point. Yeah, he's got 10 points tonight. Charlie Cabrick with it now, and almost 3.5 minutes to go in the game. Cabrick down low to the baseline.
We don't need to be in a hurry. Just
And they don't look to be.
run our offense. Post up, Wallace.
Down low, and actually, he didn't know. I was watching him. He never actually did step out, I don't believe, but he threw it looking for somebody down on the corner who was never there, and so the Cats will commit the turnover and down. I should say leading by 11. The old roll the ball to maintain time, and there's a 3 on the way, and it is good by Justin Carter. Carter's got 10 points. His second 3-point basket of the night. 54-46. It's an 8-point lead for Jasper as we have a timeout called with 3:04 to play in this contest. Again, 54-46, Jasper on top. We'll take a break right here on 18 WJTS. Timeout to get his ball club back in sync here, Jason. As we said all during the break, it's just like we cannot put New Albany away, even though I don't think they gotten within. It's an 8-point game now, and that's about as close as they gotten here in this half. But you just don't feel secure right now, even with 3 minutes to go.
No, you don't. You don't feel comfortable with it because of the way they have the potential to shoot the threes.
Mm-hmm.
They'll hit 1 or 2 here or there, and if we don't do a good job of maintaining the possessions and be able to score or hit free throws, 54 points ain't going to be enough to win this game. So we've got to take care of the basketball.
So the Cats have possession as Noblet will bring it up. He'll bounce past it to Mundy. Back out to Andrew. Mundy back. Will drive. Ball knotted up here. Here is Young, and the whistle will be called, I should say, with the foul call, that is, on Tommy Devine. I believe that's his first. I have him for. And it is his first. And the 8th team foul for New Albany, so it'll be a 1-and-1 at the line now for Grant Young. And now it's a case of Cats nailing down the free throws to secure this game.
Yeah, and most nights I would feel pretty good, with shooting free throws.
And
but
the front end of that 1-on-1 does not fall.
Grant's really struggled shooting the ball tonight, and I think New Albany's coach had seen that, and that's why he went after him there to get him on the line.
Jordan Treat with the drive. He'll draw the foul. He'll go to the line, shoot 2.
And this is, from Jasper's standpoint, this is what you don't want to do. You don't want to stop the clock and let them have the opportunity to score from the line with the clock stopped.
It's one of those things I remember my father used to always complain in a situation like this. You're giving them chances to get points without the time going off the clock.
Yeah, exactly. They missed that one, which is good. But,
yeah.
Still you're giving them that opportunity, and that's how you let teams back in the game.
Next one is off the mark as well, and ball is made away and swatted. The Cats do come up with it. Kabrick on the right side. Mundy. Down low to Wallace, who is going to be tackled from behind, it looked like almost, by number two. Do I have a number 2?
Trayvon Reed.
Yes, Trayvon Red. My apologies, yes.
I'd say he's probably in there to
commit a foul.
To do what he just did.
Exactly.
Is to foul and put us at the free throw line.
He hits his, it nails for his first personal, and that puts Wallace at the line for a pair of free throws, actually a 1-and-1, and the first one does go down. Wallace is 4 for 5, and he missed that one, but a rebound basket up and in by Andrew Noblet, who picks up his first points of the night.
Yeah, we were fortunate there. The ball just got knocked right to Andrew. He was just kind of standing there.
So 57-46 with just under 2 minutes to go. Jasper on top. Looking for a stop, but here's a shot and swatted away by the Wildcats by Noblet. The Cats have the basketball. Kabrick looks at the 3, but wisely holds back. Cats right now you don't want to be looking at the basket right now. You want to put as much time or take as much time off of that clock and let them put you at the line.
Yeah, you don't need to shoot the ball anymore. You just got to hit your free throws now when you get there, like Young is.
With an 11-point lead, almost a minute and a half to go, and as you said, Grant Young will go to the line, and it will be a double bonus. So Young missed his first three free throws tonight and make it 4.
Yeah, he's struggling right now, and it's a mental game for him. He's a good shooter. He just needs to clear all that out of there and just forget about all the previous ones and just hit this one.
This time it does fall for Young. He's got 8 points tonight. 1:30 to go. 58-46. Cats on top by 12. Shot up and no good by Jeremy Rose. Jasper with the rebound and the basketball, and they'll bring it up the floor again.
Move the ball.
Move the ball around and
pass it. Don't. If you don't hold it, they can't foul you.
And the foul is going to be committed this time by number 3, Tommy Devine, his second. And that will send Noblet to the line, it looks like. So Noblet's got 2 points, his first trip to the line this evening. Double bonus. First one is on the way and good. 3 points for Nobby. 59-46. Nobby looking to put the Cats up by 14, and he does. As he picks up his 4th point, 2 for 2 on that from the line tonight.
That should do it.
1 minute to play. 60-46. Jasper back with the steal, and New Albany steals it right back. .45 seconds to go. Long three is no good. Jasper with the rebound. 43 seconds to go. And they'll put him at the line. As the foul will be called on Rose. I believe that be his first. It is. And looks like Carter Mundy will go to the line with a double bonus. Mundy's got 12 in this contest. Jasper with everybody back. Mundy's first shot is in. So Carter Mundy with 13, looking for his 14th. Substitutions coming in for the Wildcats. Mundy will go to the line. We'll have one more free throw coming.
Braden Ernie and Jace Foy checked in for Jasper.
Next one is good. And Carter Mundy will finish the night with 14 points. Lots of new faces in for the Wildcats in this last 40 seconds. Shot is up, no good by number 11, Jordan Trepa. He'll go to the line and shoot a pair.
You don't need to do that. That's what drives coaches nuts.
And Logan Day will be called for the foul. One of several new faces in the ball game for Jasper.
No, Wallace got that
foul.
My
apologies. Okay, I was looking at number 5.
Day's going in.
Day is going in.
And Butel.
I looked too soon up at the scoreboard, I guess, and so Wallace will actually be picked up the foul, and he will now lead the ball game along with Noblet, and then Logan Day is back in. Sorry, Logan, didn't mean to give you that kind of notoriety. But the free throw is up and in by Treat. He hit them both.
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention.
I wasn't either. I just saw the second one. I was putting some names down on my score sheet. 62-48 is the score. Regardless, it's all academic from here. Stolen away by the Bulldogs. 20 seconds to go. And a whistle and a foul is going to be called on the Wildcats.
Ernie's going to pick that one up.
Shank was making the drive. So Caden Ernie, number 33, with the foul. First one goes in by Ryan Schrank. Schrank's got 9. 62-49. 62-50 now as Schrank nails the second. He's got 10. 17 seconds. Day with it. 7 seconds, and Unnecessary foul is going to be called.
I think they got him for
What
10 seconds.
Okay.
10-second call, I guess.
What is that? What the heck? Thanks.
What time of day it is?
Handing out food here at the press roll. His shot is up, and that goes in. And so does the final horn goes off here at the JHS gym with the final score, Jasper 62, New Albany 52, as the Wildcats pick up their 9th victory of the night. Or excuse me, their 10th victory of the season, I should say. New Albany will fall to 8-8. Jason, as we take a kind of recap this ball game.
Yeah, I thought Jasper came out, and was ready to go from the start, and that's always tough to do, coming off an emotional game, county rival game last night. You had to come out here tonight ready to go from the start, because if you don't, you can find yourself behind pretty quick. And I thought Jasper did a good job of being ready to go when they came out from the start. Again, we've talked about New Albany. You didn't know what you were going to get with them, because sometimes they're pretty good, sometimes they're not so good. But sometimes you don't even worry about that. You worry about how do we play. And I think from the coaching staff standpoint for tonight's game, I would think that they'd be fairly pleased with it. We scored 62 points. That's quite a few that we've scored. Now, we did give up 52. But, for the most part, I thought we played a pretty well-played game. I had us for a total of 9 turnovers, I believe, for the game. So that's not awful.
Especially early on. I mean, a lot of those were easily in the second half.
But, yeah, exactly. We had 5 in the fourth quarter, and that's not good, because at a closer game, this game hovered. They never got closer than 8. But, if that's a 2, 3, or 4 point game with that many turnovers in the fourth quarter, that can be detrimental and can come back and really burn you on it.
Exactly. And another thing is, Jason, is that, this is the ball game that, we saw a New Albany team that we weren't used to seeing in the past, and so forth.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like they were just not trying to attack the basket or running their traditional transition, run and gun, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of something a little different. I don't know if this was something that we were expecting, or at least as far as the team that is concerned.
Yeah, I'm sure we had, pretty good scouting report on them. Obviously their season sounds like it's a tale of 2 seasons. The first half they played really well here. Now they've, in the last few games, they've lost quite a few in a row or lost quite a few games. So, they're on the downhill slide where I feel like we're building momentum for the sectional, and that's what you got to start doing this time of the year. Is you got to start building that momentum and getting better each and every time that you're out.
And that's something I was going to bring up. I was thinking to myself, what about some of the topics to talk about tonight? We're obviously in the final, final fourth of the season, so to speak.
Yeah.
As we head down the stretch, what are some of the things that this ball club's going to have to work on as far as, as they work down the stretch, heading getting prepared for the ultimate, and that's the sectional.
Well, I think, obviously they need to continue to play defense the way they've been playing here lately. I'd like to see them play with a little more emotions.
Mm-hmm.
They do at times, but not enough. I'd like to see them start doing that a little bit more. And I'd like to see, on offense, we get in lulls where we get guys standing around and they're not moving and they're not doing the things that they need to do for the offense to be successful. We're not going to shoot the ball lights out every night out, and if you're not having a good night shooting, you got to have other alternatives. And here lately, we've done a good job of utilizing our inside. We've had some size advantages over some of these teams that we've played. Now, some of the teams in the sectional, we may not have that. We've played Wrights and Wrights, beat us, but, we've got Castle coming up here in a couple weeks. That's another sectional potential opponent. And I think they're having a pretty good year. Mater Dei's coming up. Mater Dei knocked off Heritage Hills last night.
Mm-hmm.
So, we've got some pretty formidable opponents coming up, and we just got to continue to work hard and get better each night we come out.
It's interesting how, of course, now being in the SIAC as we are now, and then, of course, now we've been in the 4A sectional for a number of years now, and you're seeing so many of course, as a result, you're seeing so many potential sectional opponents during the regular season anyway. So
yeah, that's exactly right.
Including Castle coming up.
And you have, it's kind of a double-edged sword because they're not only SIAC conference games that you're trying to win the conference, but there are also sectional opponents that you don't want to show too much to in case you have to play them in the sectional.
Okay.
So it's kind of a double-edged sword as, what do you do? Do you try to, and I think we're in a position now this year where I don't know what the SIAC standings look like, but I don't think we're towards the top of it.
Midway point, yeah.
Yeah, so, that portion of it's probably out the window. So, when you play Castle, that could be a determining factor that, you may not. But I don't think Coach Gable he doesn't really play like that. He goes out and wants to put his best out there every night. Doesn't matter who you're playing, whether it's a sectional opponent or not. And anymore nowadays with the way video is and stuff, guys can see everything you do anyways. So.
Absolutely. So, quickly, let's take a look at the scoring here before we get a coach up here, hopefully, to talk to. But Justin Carter and Ryland Schrank are out the bench, led the scoring. Actually, take it back. Jordan Treat with 11 points, followed by Carter and Schrank with 10 points apiece for New Albany tonight. 9 points for Tommy Devine, 2 points for Chase Loesch, and 2 points for Chris Lampkins. For Jasper, quite a balanced scoring attack, as we said, with Carter Mundy and Will Wallace leading the way with 14 points tonight, 10 points by Griffin Heil, and 8 points for Grant Young, 7 for Charlie Kabrick, and 5 points for Andrew Noblet this evening. And so, again, good balanced scoring for Jasper coming in for tonight's game.
Yeah, I thought tonight we did an exceptional job with that, with having multiple guys scoring, and that's what it takes because the more you have the score, the harder you are to guard.
Okay, well, Jason, thank you very much. And, of course, this week after this, we'll be back here at the Jasper High School Gymnasium for Thursday night for your rare Thursday girls sectional week ball game against Bar Eve on Thursday night. Looking forward to that, bringing that game to us as well.
Yep.
All right. Well, Jason Stamm, thank you very much again for joining us. And we're going to have, looks like, Coach Andy Noblet joining us this evening. As Jason will pass on the baton to Andy. Andy, good evening, and congratulations on a big win tonight.
Yeah, Wildcats played well, especially early, and thought we controlled most parts of the game.
We certainly did, and I tell you what I was talking about with Jason as we talked after the game, it was a kind of a different New Albany ball club that we normally see, and as far as their style of play tonight, a little more, not as much transition and run and gun, so to speak.
Well, I think they're trying to figure out their identity, too.
That's exactly the way we put it, too.
Yeah, the scout tape that we were watching, Scottsburg's got a really nice team, and Scottsburg got sped up in the first half. Their guards were struggling taking care of the ball, and New Albany was getting some easy baskets, and it's a little more difficult for them to go in transition when they're not taking the ball straight from our hands and giving themselves live ball turnovers. So it was hard for them to transition because many of the turnovers we did make, the ball went out of bounds.
Overall, just kind of tell what's more, what do you think about this game as far as, obviously it's, it's New Albany is New Albany, whenever you win and so forth, whether you're struggling or not. I mean, actually, regardless of them coming into the contest, losing 5 of the last 6, still a big win when you beat the Bulldogs.
Well, I think, again, big tribute to our guard play. Also, the physicality under the basket with Griffin Heil and their post player got him in foul trouble early. It was pretty difficult to guard Griffin when you're big, who's out there designated to guard him, is sitting on the bench. So it's tribute to Griffin being aggressive, getting that young man in foul trouble, and then they tried about 4 different people then trying to stop him. So it was nice to see the coaching staff taking advantage of that situation, and then obviously, just the willingness to share the basketball by the Cats tonight helped us. A lot of different guys score, and it was difficult to figure out who was going to be our offensive threat.
Speaking of which, I mean, with Griffin Heil and Will Wallace combining for 24 points tonight, 14 by Will and 10 by Griff. But all in all, of course, Wilner also the other leading scorer this evening was Carter Mundy. Nice balanced scoring today, especially with your men down low.
Yeah, absolutely. And, there's a willingness amongst that guard group to throw that ball in the post, and they're encouraging Griffin and Will to finish it. Sometimes you get players that are begging for the ball to come back out. I think we've kind of calmed down a little bit and just let those guys get to work. And then if teams do decide to double, we've got capable shooters on the outside.
Let's move ahead then, of course, to Thursday night. The always fun to play Bar Reeve Vikings coming in. It's sectional week, kind of interesting difference with schedule on Thursday to Saturday afternoon, as we always experience this time of the year. But with starting with that next weekend's ball games, look ahead to the rest of the season as we're in the final fourth of the season, so to speak, before we start heading down to the stretch to the sectional.
I think keeping our momentum is going to be very important, but there's some really good teams on the back end of our schedule going to get us definitely tournament tested by the time that it's our chance to go down and compete for the sectional. So teams like, if you haven't seen Pike Central, good team. Heritage Hills, of course, has got some young kids that have good amount of talent, and they're kind of trying to find their way right now. But, it's going to be a good run down the stretch, and we need some people to continue to support the Cats. And so come on out if you haven't been to a game. Hard-working defensive team.
Absolutely.
And, capable scorers depending on the type of play. I was happy that we came out 2-0 on the weekend.
And it was a nice big weekend, of course, last night with Coach Gable. Congratulations again to Coach John Gable picking up career victory 300 last night up at Northeast DuBois, and then of course a nice victory here tonight against New Albany. And one more thing I was going to mention as we look down the stretch, Andy, is that Jason and I were just talking before you came on. We're still seeing, Castle coming up and so forth,
Yes,
and Mater Day with big victory over Heritage Hills last night. But, it's interesting. I pointed out is that how now we are in the SIAC conference, and then, of course, have been in the 4A sectional for the last several years. It's kind of a double-edged sword, having to, playing a lot of these teams that you're going against for a conference championship and, of course, the sectional championship.
Yeah, I think it's always good to play all of your opponents, sectional opponents. I think that's something that, we try to do that in almost all of our sports so that, the kids get familiar with the style of play, pace of play, and then we're not surprised. I really do. I'm very happy that we moved to these SIAC because I think it does prepare us for the sectional. Some of the things that we're going to see, some of those teams we were missing out on in the Big Eight. So, I think that is an advantage. It's also to see teams like New Albany and see teams that would be in a possible regional opponent. So, kind of helps us get an idea of who they've played and kind of match up to some of the stronger teams on that side if you would win the section.
Andy, congratulations on tonight's victory. Good luck on Thursday night with the Bar Reeve Vikings.
Carey, thanks for covering the games, and definitely want to thank everybody that supports the Cats.
Very good. Assistant Coach Andy Noblet is our guest on the postgame show tonight. The Wildcats win tonight by the final score of 62-52. They will be back in action on a Thursday night contest with the Bar Reeve Vikings here at the JHS gym, and then on Saturday on the road for a Saturday afternoon matinee, if you will, against the Heritage Hills Patriots down in Lincoln City. We look forward to bringing those games to you next weekend here on 18 WJTS. For Andy Noblet, Jason Stamm, Craig Schneider, and Jeremy Marcos, I'm Carey Schneider saying goodnight from the JHS gym. Once again, the final score, Jasper 62, New Albany 52. So long, everybody.